Oh,
There we go.
yes, people, what's going on? What's going on? Welcome back to the channel, people. As always, make sure that you lot are smashing up the lights. Make sure that you're subscribing to the channel, people. We've got man like Tobes back today. You know what I mean? Man like Alexis back today as well. Javon can't make the show, unfortunately, people. You know what I mean? We've been quite busy with work and whatnot. But we're going to chop it up anyway for about an hour or so. We've got a few things to speak about, man. You know, Mason Man being one of them. Yeah. Home. This is home, mate. Yeah. These men are exactly what people think Chelsea are. Yeah, Ineos are exactly what Clear Lake people. Ineos are what people think Clear Lake are, bro. You know what I mean? Where are they right now? 16th. You know what I'm saying, bro? Yeah, I'm telling you, bro. That side of the fan base think that Chelsea are where Man United are right now, bro. You know what I mean? But we boys saying first of all, Alexis, what are you saying, bro? You good?
Yeah, brother, I'm good. It's going to be nice lunch hour. Let's talk about football. Let's break it down. Yesterday was enjoyable. I actually got way too much satisfaction watching Garnacho crash out, Bruno crash out after. That's the most polite transfer request I've ever seen, by the way. Bruno deserved an award for that.
No, 100%. You know, it's so funny, bro. There's so many of them talking about leaving, like Shaw. You've got obviously Amram as well. If they want me to walk out, I'll walk out. That's your boy. That's your boy as well, Alexis, bro. You love this guy.
What can you say? Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. And in this case, I don't know what the hell's going on with him, but 6 months is undoing 4 years of great work.
What are you saying, bro, man?
Mate, I'm sitting there going like, could they go down next year? Like, is there a world where they go down? Like, they're so bad. And then when you think if Bruno left, I know they're trying to rebuild, but you think, I know Cunha's going there, but it looks like he's going there. Like, by the way, I think we should. I know I said it like months ago. I'm quite a fan of Delap. Just Delap being interested in them, I think is enough to go there. Don't go near him. Like, why are you considering that? They just, I cannot believe they've lost to Spurs in the final. Forget the 16th part, like that in itself. I don't know what bit's worse. If Chelsea was 16th or Chelsea lost in the European finals with Spurs, they didn't even have like Kulusevski. Clean sheet.
A clean sheet.
They're letting a goal with no really. Maddison, no Kulusevski, no creativity, nothing. Like, how do you manage that?
You know what I mean? Not really laying a glove on them. Like, I know you've got Rasmus up top, but why are you starting Mason Mount? You know what I mean? Mainu's getting Mickey Mouse minutes in the final. The last final he played at, he's one of the key players as to why they won it and whatnot. He scored in the final. You know what I mean? So it's gone from bad to worse for those guys, isn't it? They need a whole revamping their attack. But at the same time, bro, you got to look at Amram as well, bro. That guy's made a lot of mistakes. He's made a lot of mistakes. You know, he's come in here. I saw the other day here, there's a video. I don't know if you guys have seen it, where him and Bruno are in the presser and they're asking him if he's under pressure and that. And then Bruno was like to him, yeah, he is under pressure. Like, he knows that his job's on the line and said something along the lines of that. And I'm like, it's like he's your brethren, bro. It's like he's your boy. Like, there's a fine line you shouldn't cross with a manager, right? And when I was watching them together in there, it honestly looked like they go to the park together. You know what I mean? They're in a group chat together. They text with each other. Yeah, they go out together for church and that. And I'm like, this is a joke, bro. This is a joke. And I'm telling you, bro, like, when Ineos came in, there was so many Chelsea fans talking about, oh, this is how Chelsea should be moving. Ineos are serious. Jim Ratcliffe just gets it, right? Now these are the same people I'm seeing talking about, oh, you know, if you don't rebuild like a serious club, this is what can happen to you. But you're the same people that was bigging them up, right? There was when these guys were linked to tossing, they were sucking them off. When we get tossing, it's a problem. You know what I mean? Every single time, bro, they always have to compare things to Jim Ratcliffe. These guys are 16th. Yeah. We could have got this Jim guy, bro. Imagine Jim came in right now and started doing all these cuts to the club. It would be mad. It would be mad, people. You know what I'm saying, Tobes?
Yeah, no, completely. I was the same as you two last summer when I was looking at their business. I think Euro was the only one that you'd go, oh, that's maybe a signing we would have made. Maybe, you know what I mean? Like a young top player. But like Delap's been passed around Europe for fun. Like, he's not settled anywhere. It was obvious what he was going to be. I've honestly never thought. I've always looked at it as like, oh, it's Maguire's like a better version of Delap. I really do not rate that guy.
He's been alright for them. He's been alright for them, to be fair. I quite like
he's been okay, but I mean, in terms of how the summer was looked at, you know what I mean? There were a lot of people being like, "Oh no, United will be back. They'll get rid of Ten Hag, and then they'll be back." It's like, no, it's going to be a while.
Do you know what? Maybe it's because I'm maturing, right, and I'm getting a little bit older. But I feel like our squad's in a good place now, where I'm looking at the signings that others are making, And it's very rare for me to go like outside of PSG, like English clubs, and go, "Ooh, I really wish we did that one." Like Frimpong, I like James and Gusto and Josh. I wasn't. Uh, uh, Zubamendi, I was like, oh, I like our midfield options. And it's like little signings like that where other clubs are getting. I don't feel like we're falling behind, but they're kind of improving, or maybe not. So I think that's a good sign of like we're getting close to where we want to be. It's just now, it's like Tobes always says in the group chat, give me 3 proper players and I'm not going to complain. Genuinely,
Yeah.
like that should
Well,
be the
you just said PSG. Like, mate, Kvara in our team now is like, that's just such a jump. It's just
100%.
those little bits that will just take over the line from looking like they could be
100%.
serious to serious,
we're
And don't
PSG
get
in
too-
November.
Go on, let's say that again, bro.
We're PSG in November. Before they
Yeah,
went in,
yeah, 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 yeah.
those little tweaks where it's
Mhm.
like, here's the big wages for the big player. You got to step up. I feel like we need to do that this summer.
No, 100%, 100%, bro. You know what I mean? But in terms of where we are right now in our project in comparison to them, it's night and day, bro. Right? I did a stream in the summer with AJ, Saeed, and Staffy, and was going back and forth about what project's more attractive, bro. You know what I mean? And I was looking at these guys thinking, bro, there's no way that United's project is more attractive than Chelsea right now. Everything that you lot are trying to do right now is trying to copy us, bro. You're trying to go down the young model. You're trying to go to South America to go get these players and that. You're trying to copy us. You know what I mean? And it's yeah, it's flopped for these guys, bro. You know what I mean?
Like, what's been quite funny throughout the season, because I feel like I've seen it enough that it's not like one person.
Yeah.
They think like they go, oh, Palmer would be really good in our team, and you're like, what are you? Where are you living? Where are you guys living? Like, in what world is that ever happening? Yeah, look, if it's a Matic type thing, when he's finished in 10 years, maybe you can have him. But like, he's not going anywhere near that. The only worry for us, if it was someone like that, is like, Real have this awful season they've had, and they're like, right, we're going all out, and then they start bidding on players like that. But the idea that I kept seeing throughout the season of United fans going, oh, Palmer he'd be a good addition. You're like, yeah, obviously he would. He's well above your level. Like, he's not going near something like that.
The thing is that, listen, it's the TTM, big old TTM is this. Was this model not flopping for you a few seasons ago? I mean, look, initially, Todd Bowley and that, they tried to bring in experience. They went away from experience and started to bring in young players, right? And for me, I've said from day one, bro, I'm not too fussed about experience. I'd rather quality over experience, right? You can have all the experience in the world, like what we had with Chilwell and fucking Sterling, but if these guys haven't got the quality on the pitch, you're not going to progress with them the same way, bro. Right? There's only so much man can say, oh, I've been through the trenches. I won things 2-3 years ago. I won things growing up. That doesn't help on the pitch when you ain't got the quality no more, bro. You know what I mean? So I've always been saying, like, yes, obviously I want a little bit more experience around the team and that, but bring me quality players. A lot of these players in football now that are the best in the world, they are all under 25. A lot of them under 23. Yeah, go look at all the best young players in the world right now. They are all young. You know what I'm saying? They're
It's
all young
quality.
players.
Done. It's quality and pathway. I think you can't underestimate. Like, if you've got 6 wingers or 5 wingers and then you're chopping and changing every game, no one builds up consistency. Like, I genuinely believe you need to give these players at least 25 starts. So you got to pick somebody and almost back them. I actually think we've had a good blend this year. It's just they haven't taken their chances. I don't feel like Noni, Sancho, or Neto have taken the chances. They've all been fit. They've all had the minutes. Not one of them could have an argument if they're sold in the summer. Like, we know Neto can't be, but genuinely they've had fair cracks at the whip. So
yeah, I hear you point out. Listen, no one's saying our success has been our model has been a success. We're not saying that. Like, why do you guys always take it a step further? No one's saying that. But what we're saying is, in terms of where we are in terms of our rebuild, we're closer to challenging in comparison to United. United need to think about getting back into the top 6. You know what I mean? Let alone challenging right now, bro. Whereas with us, you bring a proper striker, you bring in a proper centre back, you bring in a proper goalkeeper, and that we're challenging next year, bro. We could have even challenged this year if we had a fucking.
But that's the key, though, right? And I think this is where I agree with the Reaper. This is a weird sentence to say, but yeah, this is where I agree with it. I think next year has to be challenging, and next year has to. And I'm not saying challenging for FA Cup and Carabao Cups. I mean, next year we need to get some silverware and be close in March to the Premier League title. And they have to put the foundations in this summer. Otherwise, there's no point just building a project for the sake of building a project.
Yeah, I don't want last day of the season to be, are we going to get Champions League or not? It needs to be like, oh, that's done. That was done in March and April. It's whether we can get closer to, to lifting the big one. But we are closer. It's just those little bits. I mean, I know the guys say it's not success, but every Chelsea fan thinks that as well. No one thinks like, oh, it's been complete success because we haven't had actual, success, tangible success. But like that, when I think of that, like Kvara PSG signing, I'm like, if we make that in January.
Where are we seeing?
I don't think we'd be at least like I think we'd be at least second or third.
Bro, I'll even go a step further and say this. If we had Chris Wood, we would have challenged this year, bro. I'm telling you. Yeah? I'm not even joking. You're laughing.
Well, he suits Neto crossing the ball, so I do get that. To be fair,
bro, you're laughing. Yeah, Chris Wood, Isak, and Wisa have the best conversion rate in the league, right? Jackson has the worst conversion rate in the league. So you swap Jackson and you swap Wood, Nottingham Forest would be further down the table. They wouldn't get over the line because they wouldn't be scoring more goals than us. Chris Wood,
the idea of Chris Wood though,
you're laughing.
No, thank you.
You're laughing, yeah, but let's break it down.
I don't disagree, mate. It's in my head. It's like putting Kevin Davies in a Chelsea shirt. I'm like, it just looks weird.
I'm telling you, bro, it sounds weird. We got Cass for the Raid as well. It sounds weird, yeah, but I'm telling you, bro. The biggest problem, we're literally one game away. We've got a final here because we're going to talk about that now. As it says in the preview, people, 2 more finals, yeah, in the title even, right? But I'm telling you, bro, this year, when you actually break it down, Tobes, our biggest problem, regardless of Maresca's little blip, regardless of us not having, the best like one-on-one defenders, regardless of us having injuries with Fofana and Lavia, right? We still have the 3rd best defense in the league with 1 game to go. Right, we've scored what I think like the 5th most amount of goals right now. For me, our midfield's been the best midfield in the league, regardless of where we are on the table. Like if you go check all the underlying metrics, chances created, goals scored, chances, all of that, bro, we're up there. Caicedo for me has been the best midfielder in the league, right? So when I'm actually looking at it and I'm like, yo, there's been so many games this season where we could have won the game if we could finish. That's been our biggest problem when I actually break it down this season, bro. For me, our finishing's been the biggest problem we've had this season, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think it's that. I know I recently had a couple of good games, but it's literally front and back for me. It's like good goalkeeper, some players who can put the ball in the back of the net. Like those are the 2 glaringly obvious ones. Like you said, midfield wise, it's been a long time since you felt this like comfortable with the midfield. Especially now we've got Santos coming back in the summer and everything as well. Like midfield, I think is sorted. They don't need to touch a midfielder for like a long time.
Yep. What you guys saying about the Enzo Fernandez news right now, Alexis, man? Because that's been floating about. I'm seeing a lot of Chelsea fans right now just talking about let's replace this guy, and I'm like, replace him with who, right? Because if you're talking about replacing him, Alexis, you have to replace his creativity, right? Cole Palmer and Enzo Fernandez right now in world football are in the top 10 best creators in the world, And if this guy was doing that at Real Madrid, this is the sort of player that these guys that are saying get rid of him will be saying to go and bring in, yeah. Oh, why can't we go look at Enzo Fernandez? We're lacking a bit of creativity. It's only Palmer. Go bring me Enzo. We've got Enzo here cooking for us right now, creating for people to keep missing. It's just get rid of him and replace him. Someone even said to me in the chat, not in the chat, sorry, on Twitter yesterday, they were like, oh, replace him with Yamal, KK, and Olise. And I'm like,
that'd be nice.
You're not going to get these guys. What are you telling me? If you're going to tell me you're going to get rid of Enzo, replace him with Yamal and Rodrigo and Rafinha and that, I'll say cool. I don't want him to leave, but okay, cool, fairs. We've got a replacement for creativity. But that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen, Alexis. Do you know what I mean?
Bro, it's the equivalent of, when you start dating a girl and you're with her for 9 months and then you look around and sometimes like, hey, you know what? Something that looks more appetizing. Maybe I should go and expand my horizon. And then you quickly realize what I have at home is actually the best thing. I need to sit myself down. And in this case, you're not replacing Enzo with anything better. Like, or if you are, it's costing you more than what you're selling Enzo for because people know you have money. Mm-hmm. And there's a reason Real Madrid want Enzo Fernandez. And there's a reason why clubs have been interested in him since he came to Benfica before he came to us. People call him average, but the minute he leaves us and puts on that Real Madrid top, in less than 12 months, best midfielder in the world shouts will start.
Yep.
That's what's going to happen because when you don't have the asset, that's the problem. I don't think we sell him this year, but I'm going to be very unpopular. I think it's a ticking time bomb to when he does go to Madrid.
No,
because these rumors aren't dying.
No, 100%,
Like,
bro. Listen, that's what happens, isn't it? When you've got a profile like an Enzo Tobes, that's quite niche. You know what I mean? He can play in that first phase, spraying the ball. I always say to people, for me, he's a similar profile to Cruz. I was going back and forth with, I don't know if you guys know Billy, the Villa fan, and Lawless, yeah, the West Ham fan. They were going crazy in the group chat talking about I'm deluded. I said, bro, I'm not saying he's as good as Cruz. Listen to what I'm saying. He is a similar profile to Cruz, right? He's the closest profile that you get to someone that can play in that first phase, get the ball, ping it, you know what I'm saying? Ping it side to side, spray it, play those passes over to the wingers and that. Because if you guys remember when Real Madrid played fucking Arsenal, they had Modric trying to play the Cruz role. He couldn't do it, bro. He couldn't do it, yeah? Arsenal were just pressing them and there was no one in that first phase to just get the ball and ping it across. That's what Cruz used to do, you know what I mean? And I'm telling you, bro, if we didn't get Enzo Fernandez in that January, we would have never got him in the summer because he would have been a lot cheaper, number one, and we had no Champions League football to sell to him. Everyone would have been after this guy, right? You're talking about the guy that won Young Player of the Tournament in the World Cup. And then when he comes over here, people want to talk about him like he's any Mickey Mouse player. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's crazy talks, man.
Mate, he's quality. He's had a lot of stick over his time in England. It's just fee related, to be honest, because I found it. I don't know about you boys. The last week with all the Player of the Year nominees that's come out from the Premier League, come out from journalists, pundits, like fans online, the Casado disrespect has been like one. I found that absolutely mind blowing because I'm not even taking the piss here. He has been the best midfielder in the league. Like it's not even close either. I think McAllister's had a good year. He's had a really good year. Casado's been the best, and like when I see the likes of Tonali or whatever in there for having a good 6 months, I find that mad. However, someone that keeps coming up, and I know he's played every minute of every game for them, and he's an important player for them, is Tielemans, right?
He's been
Enzo
good.
Fernandez. Tielemans has been good, but I look at Enzo Fernandez this season, Tielemans, I go, if Enzo Fernandez didn't exist, everyone's looking at Tielemans going, like, oh, we should be signing him, and he'd literally just be doing what Enzo's doing. It's the fact that like he has that fee and he is who he is that people aren't giving the praise. Like I think like if you look at statistically, they're pretty much exactly the same. Enzo creates a few more chances, maybe Tielemans gets a few more passes off, but like in terms of the numbers they're delivering, everyone's saying how Tielemans had this amazing season. And in the eyes of most, like Enzo Fernandez has been, oh, he's really average. It's like, no, he's just been pretty decent. It's just that the guy next to him has been the best midfielder in the league. Like, I don't understand. I don't know. People can't like look past fees. I don't think.
And winning.
Like, they can't.
And winning. If our away record wasn't as horrible as it has been in 2025, like if you remember in December, you remember the hype that Enzo was getting after that Leicester game. Yeah. When he basically ran, I think it was 11 kilometers, got an assist. And
I was there and it was crazy. He even scored as well.
Yeah, he scored, but he's scored like key goals this season. One, he's scored in both games against Villa, actually. Speaking of Villa, like
he loves playing against Villa. He loves playing
Spurs
against
and Spurs home and away grabs the winners. I feel like there was a few others like big game. Liverpool he scored in the opener the other week. Like he's been delivering for Chelsea consistently throughout the season. It's just he's one of these players that he will not get the credit until he leaves. He won't.
And I don't think he'll get the credit until he's out of the team for a long period of time, and people realize what's gone. Because
we saw
already last season. Do you remember back of last season, everyone's going, Chelsea have fixed the team because Enzo Fernandez isn't it? And you're like, Cucurella's inverting. That's all that's changed. Yeah. That's what's changed. It's not. It's like everything has been about he's been a problem. He's been this, and you think, I don't know if you're the same as us. We're watching it every week. You're like, no, he's like quite pretty low down that list.
This guy, because start of the season for me, he wasn't playing well. Like I didn't like him between the lines, like in between the pockets and that, because I just didn't really think he was that agile to take the ball in the back foot. You know, like a Felix or like a Rodgers and that. They're the sort of players I like in the pocket. I wasn't really fucking with Enzo there. I was saying, bro, Maresca needs to bring him further down and play him there, because when I was watching Maresca at Leicester, Harry Winks was the role that Enzo should be playing for us. That's how I kind of visualize Enzo, right? Where you're just getting him in the first phase, he's spraying it to the likes of Caicedo and all of these guys, right? But all of a sudden, bro, from like October onwards, he started to prove me wrong. And I had to hold my hands up and say, bro, I didn't think he had this in his bag. Fair play. He's been influential on the left-hand side, the right-hand side. What have we been hearing about Palmer this season? Oh, Palmer can only play on the right. Don't play him on the left, is shit there. But why can Enzo get moved around? Certain games I see Enzo getting played on the right. Certain games I'm seeing him getting played on the left. He's still influential the same way. He's still creating the same way. He's starting to score more goals. If you guys remember last year, bro, in front of goal, Enzo was shit in front of goal, bro. He was shit. A lot of his chances used to just go flying, bro. right? This year he's improved his finishing. You know what I mean? And then you talk about the leadership as well. The guy's been our captain when Reece hasn't been here. You know what I'm saying? So it's like these people like Reaper that are just saying, oh, he's bang average in that, yeah? Tell me who's replacing his creativity numbers, Reaper, right? Tell me who's replacing
And
them.
I'll tell you now, right, Don? The names we're going to hear are Tijani Reinders and what's it called? The midfielder that plays for Napoli. He's like the fancy name that everyone loves. I think he's Slovakian, right? But I watch Milan. Yeah, I watch Milan on a regular basis. And I promise you, Reinders is not better than Enzo Fernandez. Put Enzo in Serie A, he'll be destroying it. There's Santos shouts. Listen, I'm very excited for Santos. I really want to see what Santos is going to be like. But can we just be a bit measured with how much we're exaggerating Santos's ability to come in and hit the ground running as if Strasbourg is Chelsea? It's a completely different job.
I've got no doubt Santos will cook, but in terms of creativity, bro, he can create. Not as good as Enzo, man. When you watch Enzo's passing, there's only a few players that have got that, bro. And I'm telling you, that skill set, I've said from day one, the skill set Enzo has, because when I watched him in the World Cup and I saw the way he was pinging the ball, there's not many players that have that skill set, bro. You know what I mean? And then
the first 6 months we had him under Potter, he was the only thing that was worth watching.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like when I remember we got battered at Old Trafford, but I was just watching him. I was like, mate, this guy does not deserve to be playing in this team. Like that was just how it felt. Like Leicester away when he got that assist for Havertz. I know it was a good finish, but like
I was there for that one as well, bro.
Yeah, and I think the third goal he set up was Kovacic scored. He looked outside the foot. Just his passing's a joke. The West Ham one, the Felix goal away at West Ham was like that. Even if you need binoculars to see the goal, but like you can see he's just a very talented player, clearly. But like,
let me show you guys this as well, because this is the boring narrative I always hear. It's like a script. Like these Enzo haters always come with a script. Yeah, they love to talk about he's so bad off the ball and he's not a great tackler and I'm like, you know how many times I see Enzo winning the ball back high for us, winning the ball back quickly for us, getting stuck in, right? Enzo Fernandez is not a destroyer. He's not a Declan Rice. He's not a Caicedo. He's not a Gravenberch. Stop judging him like he is, because what he offers on the ball is fucking quality, right? And look, even here you can see I think this was in November, yeah? Enzo Fernandez is currently winning possession back in midfield more times per game than any other Chelsea player in the Prem. I believe he's won the ball back the most for us in the final third as well. Right? People, I've never heard this obsession with off the ball for attacking midfielders. I've never heard of it, bro. I never used to hear this for De Bruyne. I never used to hear this for David Silva. I never used to hear this for, I don't know if I can't remember if people used to say this. This is what I'm saying. This is why you've got different profiles that complement what he does, right? He's there for a reason. He might not be the best off the ball. Sometimes you will see people run past Enzo, yes. But I bet the times when you see him win the ball back, you lot just ignore it. Because I watch it, I see it with my eyes. I see him winning the ball back at times. And I see what you lot see as well when people just run past him, right? But to say that he's shit off the ball, it's a lie. You're lying. He's not as good as Caicedo off the ball, but say he's shit off the ball, it's a fucking lie, bro. I don't believe it. I don't believe it at all. And like I said, the metrics back up what I'm watching, because he's won the ball back the most for us in the final third, bro. You know what I'm saying, Alexis?
I agree, man. I agree. Like, there's nothing I can add to this conversation. I just feel like we can have nice stuff too. Like, why do we have to have just Lavia, Enzo, and Caicedo when we can just add Santos and nothing can change? Like, we can have 4 quality midfielders, we can have good competition, and hopefully next year it's not an issue of, oh, Carabao Cup's coming. Oh, well, we can't rest Enzo. No, we can. Santos can play. And if Santos plays well, Santos can play on the weekend after. And then there's that fierce competition that makes everyone else elevate. But no, all in all, I'm just very excited, Don.
No, 100%. A big up, Matthew.
I just feel like football fans change. Sorry, go on.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say, I just think football fans change in terms of like, when we had Lampard, Ballack, Essie, and Makaleli, Mikel, Deco, no one was like, I know actually Makaleli and Deco didn't overlap, but you get my point. Like, we had a lot of options. Not everyone can play, but they were all very good players. Like, no, I feel like maybe in today's times people will go, oh, we can't have Ballack because we've already got this. It's like, well, why don't you just have 4 or 5 really good players and you don't have to worry? Yeah, isn't it, mate? It's like you can only have a good 11. And then
it's mad weird, bro. Like, why do you want to? It makes no sense, bro. Why do you want to limit yourself? Why don't you want to have more strings to your bow? You know what I mean? When you go downstairs and you go look at your little knife rack and that, to go cook some food, you've probably got different types of knives for different types of fish. different types of chicken, different types of meat. You know what I mean? You've got certain things here to cook the pasta with. Yeah, you've got different tools in the kitchen for different jobs. That's the same thing as Enzo, bro. When it comes to unlocking low blocks, this guy's going to be key. Then you've got people like Santos behind him to help him, people like Caicedo behind him to help him. That's what you do, bro. You have different profiles in the midfield to have the best, to have one of the best midfields in Europe, right? Villa have Onana, they've got Tielemans, they've got Kamara, they've got McGinn, yeah, they've got fucking what's my man's name, Rodgers, and they've even got that mixed race guy, what's his name? I always forget his name. What's the other mixed race guy?
Ramsey,
bro.
Ramsey, yeah.
That's 6 players right there, and I can think of about 3-4 different profiles that they've got, and they all complement each other, bro. Right? And our midfield absolutely bossed them at the bridge. Absolutely bossed them at the bridge. You know what I mean? So, boy, I don't understand this logic, man. I honestly don't understand this logic. It's just people right now, they're just doubling down now because Enzo's proven them wrong. I used to hear Enzo's not a Premier League footballer. You know what I mean? I used to hear Enzo's a Teletubby and that. And I kept telling them, bro, it's Poch. It's Poch tax. I'm watching Enzo at Brentford away playing right wing, overlapping at Everton, playing left wing, right? Playing in the 10. Enzo Fernandez in the 10. You know what I mean? It's crazy, bro. It's crazy, bro. But what do you not think about the links about Delap? Obviously, right now, it looks like we're meeting him as well. Alexis, we're meeting with him as well. He's met United as well at the minute. Is that someone that you think we should still be signing? Obviously, we've got Ekitike as well. I don't know if you guys have seen the Fabrice Hawkins links.
Yeah, I have. I'm underwhelmed, man. I can't lie. Only because at the start of this week, I said, next year I want to compete. Next year I want to be in a position where we're winning trophies, or we're at least leading a charge until March, where we're realistically within touch and range. Can Delap push us over the edge? Like, if you give me Delap and Jackson, I've just got way too many uncertainties. I'm not saying they're bad players. And I think the same goes with Ekitike and the same goes with Sesko. There's just too many question marks around the players. Whereas if you get an Osimhen, I'm not saying Osimhen can't flop because we've seen players come and flop. But one thing you can say for him is I've seen him score goals that led to a title. I've seen him be like put up ridiculous numbers somewhere else. So it's just one of those things where I don't know, man. Like, I'm just not inspired. Like, Tubbs, what do you think?
Yeah. I look at it the same, mate. I'm this summer for me is about who is going to improve that first team from the day dot. And I look at Osimhen. It just makes sense as a Chelsea player, doesn't he? Like, he just look. Yeah. I don't know. I just get as a feel for a player. You just think that guy seems right. Like, he just fit. Like, it's like when we signed Costa, it just seemed like, yeah, well, why wouldn't Diego Costa be a Chelsea player? He's the most Chelsea player I've ever seen not play for Chelsea. He just looks like a Chelsea player. Yeah. And I do get that feel from Osimhen. I get that from some of the feel of even his goals. I know some of they've been in Turkish league this season, but like the type of goals he scores doesn't make me think, oh, I don't know if that translates. Whereas Gyökeres, I watched like all 50 goals he scored this season, and there's quite a few where I'm like, I don't know if that would happen over here. Like, I know it sounds weird, but I don't know if that goal translates. It looks like something that it's like a circumstance that won't happen in the football we play. Whereas I don't know, Osimhen seems quite isolated a lot of the time. He has to kind of make his own luck. And if he has Palmer like helping him out and the players we have around him helping him out.
Don't you think Sunday decides? Sunday will tell us a lot of where we're going to be. If we get what we want and we get Champions League football, by the 1st of September, when the window closes, I'm going to know where I sit with Blueco really well. Because if we have another window where you get me a Delap, Hato, and you keep Petrovic, and all of a sudden you just add players that are good for the squad, and we're going to be fighting for top 4, from my opinion, unless someone improves, I'll just know this is a money-making scheme for you guys. But if they heavily invest into 2 or 3 players that rise this level of the team, buy all the kids you want. I don't care. Like, flip all those kids. Like, what I want you to do is just make sure we're winning. I'm not even asking for a league title every year. I just want one every 5 years will be great. Consistently deep in cups. You're going to win cups. Like, do what we did under Roman. We were all very happy under Roman.
Boy, not me towards the end, boy. Not me towards the end. I saw this downfall from a mile away, bruv. You know what I mean? I used to tell my friends all the time that are Gooners, because most of my friends are Gooners and United fans. When we was winning stuff, they're like, oh, why are you lot not going over the top with it? I'm like, bro, the league, our bread and butter, we're just so bad in the league. You know what I mean? Like, we're finishing so far behind the teams, bro. Like when we last won the league, yeah, we finished like 30 points behind Man City, bro. We finished 5th. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but at the same time, Don, I would like not to bring up an old conversation. I feel like the Tuchel years. That was the most like Tuchel's apart from Mourinho. Tuchel's my next favorite Chelsea manager. Like I feel like that 1 year before the sanctions hit, we were building something really good. Like I know people were saying, "Oh, we got Saul." Yeah, we were just even like before Lukaku's stupid interview and then the sanctions. Like
he ruined it. He ruined it because he actually started well. Like that was what was so annoying, mate. That Arsenal away and like Villa at home, it was like finally, like there's the missing piece of the jigsaw. And then the injury started off that 4-0 to Juventus, but like the feel of the club felt like this is right, like we're on the right path. But what's happened since has been nuts.
And I just want
I don't know, it could have been different though. Like I remember all the summer after that Champions League, it was Haaland. Before it was Lukaku, it was Haaland. It was like.
Yeah, it was. But I was saying at the time, bro, like our lack of creativity through the midfield, especially, Haaland would be looking like he's got fucking Timberland boots on every single game, bro. Right? Because our only bit of creativity was from Reece and Chilwell, and you saw that
they were the full wing backs. Yeah,
that's it, bro. We had no Fabregas gone. Our midfield was Jorginho and fucking Kovacic. Like, where's the creativity, bro? And that's what I used to bang on about all the time. I'm like, we haven't replaced Fabregas. We haven't even replaced Matic, right? It's Kante being run into the ground. You know what I mean? I used to complain about these things, right? So, boy, it wasn't perfect back then. Like, yes, cool, we picked up.
No, it wasn't.
There's no debate. This is what people like to do. People like Reaper and that, yeah? They'll say things like this, but this is better, yeah? This has got nothing to do with Clearlake, bro. Because there is no debate between Clearlake and Roman. Roman is clear of Clearlake, right? But in isolation, I can still criticize Roman, bro. Because I saw Roman at his best. I saw Roman in the first 10 years of his time at Chelsea basically at the top of football, bro. Consistently winning stuff, playing good football at times. You know what I mean? Like, I know our soul is like, you know, sit back and grit out and whatnot. But I was seeing us winning a lot more.
Yeah, Carlo, we smashed the goal record. Like we were still good to watch. We just did what we had to do as well.
Exactly.
We're winners. We're winners. I mean? But yeah, we need this summer needs to be a bit like, you know, the little horse season where Torres, Bar, and I mean Eto'o was older. I can't really blame him that much. But like you knew we needed Costa. But on top of Costa, they went, right, Courtois back from loan. That can be Santos and Esteval, call them that. They brought in Felipe Luis and Fabregas and Costa, like big. I know Felipe Luis didn't end up starting, but you know what I mean? First team players, like important first team players. It doesn't have to be 10, 20-year-olds. Like this is the summer to be serious.
Hey, look, you make it sound like a debate. Bro, come on, man. You use some critical thinking, bro. Like, do I need to state the obvious? Like, who's going to debate that fucking Clearlake are better than Roman? No one's going to debate this, right? At the end of the day, the point that I'm making here is that Roman, if you even go check my Twitter, but this was even before Clearlake came in, Roman had a lot of rectifying to do. And I think he would have done it if he still stayed. It's a shame that we didn't get to see it happen, but he had a lot of rectifying to do because we were falling behind, right? We didn't compete against Man City, Pep and Klopp once. You know what I mean? We won the league when Pep first came here. After that, we didn't touch Pep once. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, okay, we picked up trophies, but brother, your bread and butter is the league, and we were far from it, man. But let me read this here because Naval says, big up Naval for the donation as well. Says, I want to make this extremely clear to Maresca. If you play like you did against Newcastle in the first half in the final, we lose the final. We need to be 100% on it. None of this slow football real with be on us. Alexis, look, we've got 2 finals, not even 1 final, bro. We've got a final coming up this weekend. How are we going to win that game, man? Because we need to make sure that we win.
So I don't want to sound cocky and I don't want to sound arrogant, but I feel like we are the favourites going into that game. And I feel like on paper, we've got the better team. I think we're in better form than them. I think we've got the better manager. We just need to handle our business. I think shut down that crowd, keep the ball. The goal might not come in the first half. Just keep the transitions to a minimal. You don't want to give Elanga and Hudson-Odoi a bunch of space to run in behind, get their crowd up. All of a sudden, the atmosphere gets massive and our players get overwhelmed. This is where we, like, you know how all season, there hasn't been progress. There haven't been progress. There hasn't been. This is the final test. Like, they've studied all year. Turn up now and show us you can manage the expectations. And it's Forest. I'm sorry, Everton went there and won. Leicester went there and got a point. Can we not go there and win? Like, you want Champions League football? Go get it done. Like, but It will be tricky, but I think we'll get it done. I don't know why I'm setting myself up to get hurt, but I feel like, yeah, we'll get it done.
How about you guys? How are you feeling? Because obviously we saw George start the game last week. For me, he struggled in the game physically, but at the same time, we weren't really trying to find him, bro. You know what I'm saying? We weren't trying to play the ball to him. I was seeing him in so many phases of the game where he's putting his hand out like this to give him the ball, and no one's playing it to him, bro. It honestly felt like we were playing around him, right? How do you think that Maresca is gonna, sort of set up at the weekend? Do you think he'll start George up top? Or how would you sort of start?
I can't see him chucking Gay straight in. If I'm honest, I think he will. I think he will start with George up top, and if not, actually, he might go Neto up top with Sancho on, because Sancho obviously couldn't play against United. So I think maybe he would do that. Maybe he would have done that if he could have played United. I don't know. I thought George struggled, but I honestly thought first half we struggled. To be honest, I think if we turn up against Forest and play how we have in the first halves against Newcastle and United, we will not be getting Champions League football. They have to be on it from minute one. I don't know why they're not, to be honest, but away games, big away games, we have struggled this season, and none come more big than securing top four. But as Lex has said, we're in better form than Forest. It is Forest. They're a decent side, but you can beat Forest, and also they'll be nervous. They're going to be nervous. I know it's cliche, but like that first goal is so key. If Forest score, it's done in my head. I don't see us going 1-0 down, their crowd being that up for it, and us turning it around based on the data we've seen this season of what our team does. But if we get the first goal and they have to come out and they can't. Like Forest want to sit back in general with how they play. Like they want to be compact. If they have to come out, I actually think we'd beat them 2 or 3. I know we struggle to finish, but I genuinely think that would be the case. We cannot be letting in a silly early goal like a Newcastle. Like you cannot.
Do you not think the Newcastle game and the Man United game starts most probably kind of tells us we're due for a positive start? Do you know, like,
I don't know, because I thought that with the United one after Newcastle, I went, well, they can't start like that again, and they did, and I was like, what are they doing?
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I don't know what to expect exactly from this Chelsea side, because they are a bunch of kids at the end of the day. So it's like, I hope they've studied, but I don't know.
No. But the thing is, I'm not hearing that kids thing right now, because you lot went to Wembley last season.
Yeah, agreed.
You lot went to Wembley last season, yeah, and you were fucking nervous against Liverpool. I was seeing Gusto struggling to fucking take a touch on the ball. The ball's just flying past him.
It was terrible.
You know what I mean? Enzo was poor in that game. Like, we were just jittery, right? This is where I'm looking at the mentality. Because quality-wise, we're better than Forest. Yeah? We're better than these guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Recently, they've been getting panned. I've been watching their games. I'm telling you, bro. Even Spurs could have beaten them the other week if they could fucking take their chances, right? And then, like I said to you earlier, start of the show, Chris Wood has the best conversion rate in the league, one of the best in the league. So they'll get that one chance, they bang it in. And then you keep missing your chances. You're going to lose the game. You know what I mean? So we've got to be clinical, like what Alexis is saying, and we cannot, right, let that crowd get on top of us to the point where we're just making mistakes. We're not building up well. Hopefully Enzo Fernandez's eyes is fixed now, because, bro, man was playing with one eye the other day. The build-up, he was so poor the other day, but it makes sense. I was fucked. I was fucked, bro.
Boys, do you reckon he goes with experience over... So, like, one thing I've noticed since our defense got a little bit more stable, the defense has got very experienced by our standards. So, like, for example, it's been Cucurella, Reece, Tosin or Trev, and Colwell. And Colwell's played a lot of games now. Like, you can't look at him as that pup. He's got 100+ league games. I feel like we need to do that again, and then maybe an Enzo. Thing is, he won't do this, but I need Lavia to play. And I need Caicedo in the middle next to him with Enzo. Enzo in the 10, so we suffocate that midfield and they can't get out in transition. But every time they get the ball, they have to go long.
Yeah.
And then our centre-backs keep it. And if they try to play out, we've just got 2 destroyers in there. So
how's that going to work, though? Because obviously if we start Lavia, look, you have to... Caicedo. You have to start Caicedo. You know, are you dropping Reece to the bench then?
I would personally, go Palmer false 9, Sancho one side, Neto, Noni the other side. But I don't see it, like, because we need somebody in there. But Neto doesn't do the whole I'm gonna be a striker. He just does the running around like Scrappy Doo and just causes chaos.
I don't want to see Palmer up top. I think it takes away so much of his game, man. When you play Palmer up top, he's not involved in the game. He's just really not. And he likes to, he's like in Cuckoo up top. He'll leave that position and he'll come into the midfield. And then before you know it, there's no one. There's no one up there.
And that's been so often our problem this season. Like I said, it's lack of goal. That's the biggest worry is like, do we score? Because I'm like, no, we can deal with them. I think we can deal with them. It's like, are we actually going to score though? Like who's going to score? And that's why you need Reece that's what Reece James has to play, because he's one of the few that think, he could set something up or he could score. Like Cucurella has scored our most goals in 2025. It wasn't a surprise to any of us when he scored against United, like to know that he was on popping up.
I mean, the only other option you've got is to start Palmer right wing, but I never really speak about that much because I know. Listen, we've had Maresca long enough now to know, innit? He don't like Palmer. He don't like Palmer on the right ahead of Neto or ahead of Madueke. He wants a touchline winger to be running at people. You know what I'm saying? Because when you play Palmer there, you don't have that much width. He likes to cut in a lot. And big up Naval for this as well. It says Maresca has to turn up. We've heard the talk. Now you have to deliver as well as these players. You're spitting facts, bro. And big up for this one here as well. It says we need to play how we did at the start of the season: one-touch football and overlapping. Listen, when you're playing against these teams that are sitting back, bro, listen, you need to move the ball quite quickly. But at times the build-up is going to be a little bit sluggish, bro. You need to find those little pockets. You need to make sure you're not making any mistakes. You don't want Sanchez to just keep kicking the ball long to nobody. You know, you want to keep in the ball and be patient, man. And then when you get that first goal, you open up the game because now Forest have to come out and play. You have to manage it well. It's all about game management. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, we need to go into that game with the mentality that we're gonna beat these guys, bro. Because honestly, man, we cannot, on Sunday be sitting here and be fucking finishing 7th or finishing out that top 5, bro. There's no way. There's no way, man.
No. The thought of that is like, I would. Would you chuck? Okay, it's an interesting one.
Yes, I would. I know exactly where you're going with this. I would expect a 4-0 defeat to Real Betis tomorrow.
Yeah,
I think
I'd take an Anthony hat trick if it meant we won on Sunday.
Yeah, I don't care.
Champions League like a trophy.
Yeah,
listen.
Over that. Yeah, I know it sounds bad, but like if it was a Europa League final, I wouldn't be looking at it like that. But I want the Conference League. I want to win it, but I think we should win it by default. Whereas Champions League, I'm like, we need that. It's the fact that this summer it would just be. It just changes everything, really, whether we get it or don't. I think, anyway, in terms of what we can get in.
And Don, you know, this whole argument, like, Conference League as a trophy, I promise you, in 10 years' time, if me and you are talking about Chelsea's, like, historical nights, we will never remember the Conference League. It'll be one of those jokes, like, if Noah comes up and we're like, hey, do you remember when we played Noah? Like we won't remember playing it.
It'll be like pub quiz. It'll be a pub quiz question on like if Reggie Walsh goes on to do well at Chelsea, it'll be like where did he make his debut?
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah.
Rolski. Yeah. We've been through the grind. We've been through the grind. Yeah, I think we played Servette or something at the start of the fucking tournament.
We lost the napkins.
We lost in that game. Yeah, that pitch was like Hackney Marshes, bro. You know what I'm saying? And there was a certain game we played. I can't remember we played away. I think it was Noah away. Yeah, and I could see cows in the background, bro. Yeah, cows in the back. We can't go through. We can't go through all of this and then not win at the end. But we have to win and never see this place again. Yeah. I never want to see conference again, but now that we're here, I want to fucking win it, bro, because we're going to get cooked. We are going to get cooked. If we don't win that trophy, blood, we are going to get fried, yeah? But the irony of this is it's a lower competition to Europa League, yeah? But you're going to see more quality in this game. Real Betis and Chelsea is going to be more quality.
Yeah, it'll be better than last night, yeah. I actually think, to be honest, I don't see a world where if we do win on Sunday, I think we'll win that final. Like I think they'll be so happy and buzzing and relieved that they actually will probably play quite well in that final. They might be nervy and get the job done on Sunday, but if they won, I think they would really deliver for that.
We've got Jackson there as well. He's been pissing me off lately, but he's not suspended in the Conference League as well, man. I think people are overdoing this Betis thing, man. Like, come on, we should be beating them. You know what I mean? Like, if
I'll tell you one thing though. If we
I love this. I love Disco in 2014 or whatever, but
yeah.
It's going to be. But if we win against Forest, win against Betis, I can't wait for the Club World Cup. I know there's a lot of people not excited for it, and I'm genuinely buzzing for it because I feel like it's a big opportunity to make a lot more money for our transfer kitty, and one day that trophy is going to be a massive thing. Like the way they reformatted it once every 4 years, it's gonna feel special.
Yep.
So like, why not go for it? Like we have a deep enough squad.
It's such a nice trophy. The trophy, the Conference League trophy and the Club World Cup trophy, they are beautiful, bro. They're beautiful. I want that at the bridge and the new stadium that we eventually move to. You know what I'm saying, bro? So we have to make sure, man. We have to make sure, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But just to wrap up, obviously, because we've got to get back people to work and whatnot. Listen, let's see, I've got another thing here. Another super chat from Axel Disaster. He says Ekitike won't work. Ekitike won't work by himself. He needs a mamouche. Have any of you guys
Isn't Palmer like mamouche, if I'm not mistaken? Like, like the number 10 that will link up with you. Or am I like?
I don't know. I feel like Mamouche is a bit more running behind, isn't he? He looks a good player, man.
I haven't really watched much of him to really comment, right? But again, Fabrice Hawkins yesterday said that we're looking at him. We're trying to find an agreement or something along the lines of that. I don't know if that means that we're going to be looking at him and someone else, because there's something, I don't know, I've just got a feeling that we're going to maybe try to get 2 strikers. Something's just telling me that we're going to try to get 2 strikers. Like João Pedro, for example. What do you guys think of João Pedro? Like, do you think that'll be a good strike?
It's another Nkunku Havertz, I think. I think it's another what is he? He's not really that, but he's not really that. I'm done with those players, if I'm honest, mate. I want another 9. Give me someone who I look at. I'm like, that's a 9. That's a 9.
Do you know what? There was one game, right? And I don't like Delap, right? I don't think Delap is this special player that everyone thinks he is right now. But there was one game against Man United where he just ran and bundled someone over for no reason. And for me, I looked at it, I'm like, that's what Costa used to do for us.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, everyone would get hyped up. And it just feels like a bigger game. Like, I actually really want that in a striker again, like a battering ram.
No,
and João Pedro might snap his ankle if he tries to do that, like the way he's built. So
would you take him as a backup, though, as a backup option?
He won't be a backup, though. You're paying starters money. Like, he's a 60, 70, you're paying 60, 70 million. So he comes in to start. And you're stuck with him. It's not.
Also, they seem to say a lot about their background checks and stuff. That guy seems to be in a lot of trouble, quite consistently. I don't know. He's fighting on the training ground, and
you see that Van Hecke, innit? Him and Van Hecke apparently had a little bit of a problem. Man.
I think they'll cool down on Garnacho. I don't think they'll bother touching that again.
Bro, don't go anywhere near Garnacho, bro. You know what I mean? Don't go anywhere near this guy, bro. Because like I said to people before, like me calling him a squad player doesn't mean that I want him. I've said already, I want Tyreek George to be given the minutes over this guy. I'd rather stick with Tyreek than spend 40 million on Garnacho, right? Because he's just not good enough. He's not good enough, bro. You know what I'm saying? Really not good enough to be at Chelsea, man. But big up Naval for the super chat, just to round up. It says, these players have to understand, you win this, you win every single trophy. Not a lot of clubs can say that. Take the damn trophy. Bro, take the fucking damn trophy, bro. You know what I mean? Let me even show you this graphic that came out from Sky Sports, yeah? We've got European heritage, bro. We can make this number 7. You lot are looking at the bigger picture here. Yeah, I'm going to be shameless about this. You know what I'm saying? Only Liverpool. Major European trophies won by English clubs. Only Liverpool have more European heritage than us, bro. You know what I mean? We've got 6. United have 5. Spurs have 4. You know what I mean? Red Spurs have 2. Leeds have 2. Man City have 2. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to Europe, I'm telling you, bro, we have real clout. Yeah, real clout. When we go back into the Champions League and that, people know it hits different. People know that when you bang on the side of the stadium and that at the bridge, it's different levels, bro. Yeah, people know that we're not gonna make our players nervous on the pitch when it comes to Champions League because we rile them up. Yeah, we have real European heritage, bro, and people need to remember that. So when it comes to the fucking Conference League, don't tell me that you don't care. If you don't care about it, don't watch the game and don't complain after if we don't win the game. Like, we got to go in there and win that fucking game. We're here now. You know what I'm saying? We're here now. Yeah? Celebrate. Bro, listen, I want to be shameless. I'm not going to fucking parade it or anything like that. But end of the day, bro, you got to win.
I want it for that. I want it because we would be the only club, not even just in England, anywhere that's won everything. No one's done that. And it's history. So, that aspect's really cool. But you're absolutely bang on. Champions League, well, people will be like, oh, good. The proper London club are back. The one that actually competes for this and does stuff in this and has history in this.
That's it.
That's how we're seen. So
I also think
we need to be back in there.
From a marketing standpoint, just the size of the club status, we can't spend time out the Champions League. If you go 3-4 years of not being in the Champions League, that's 3-4 years of kids that are starting to support clubs not going to support you in the future. And I know people go, oh, you don't want the glory hunters. But these days, like I went to pick up my little niece the other day, and it was Muffy Day, kids in Man City kits. Like I never
Right.
would have saw that when I was growing up. Like
Never.
people
Never.
wearing Man City kits in London, and now it's a thing. So you got to make sure like we're still active, and like Chelsea's still Chelsea and London's still blue.
No, 100%, bro. Big up Naval again. It says complete football again. Twice we have a chance to say this. Get the job done. No excuses, nothing. You must deliver. No questions. It's very simple. Very, very simple, bro. And just to round up as well, Naj, you make a very good point, bro. I just want our players to win something together, so have that experience winning, bro. That's going to give them that hunger to keep going, man. You know what I mean? Once you get that first trophy, you want more. You know what I mean? It might not be the biggest trophy in that, but we're in it now. So you might as well. You know what I'm trying to say? But listen, Alexis, love the time, my bro. I know you got to shoot. Let them know where they can find you, bro. What have you got coming up as well?
Guys, find me on the Kafka's View. Don will probably put my link in the bio below. But yeah, latest transfer news on other clubs as well as Chelsea. Hit it up, quick fix in 15 minutes, and then you can move on with your day and find other live streams to jump on. But thank you for having me, Don. And yeah, we've got a nice little show building here. Some record numbers for us.
No, 100%, man. We'll definitely do something a little bit longer next week, but I know the boys are quite busy today. Tobes, how about you, bro, man? What have you got coming up?
To be honest, man, it's just TikTok stuff at the moment. YouTube's on the back burner, but yeah, I'm sure links will be elsewhere. No, pleasure coming on. What on the chat, actually? Yeah, it's good. It's good we're building this. Hopefully, this time next week we should have won everything and have Champions League football next year. Should
100%, man. Big up Sab for this as well. It says Arsenal fans laughing at us getting the European Conference Cup. I thought winning trophies is more important. I mean, Arsenal fans love to tell us this all the time, but it seems only for them, bro. I don't look down on any trophy. When you're there, you better win it. Whatever competition
mate,
you're in, you win it.
When they're looking down on Spurs, yeah, I was gonna say, sorry, did you lose to Olympiacos, Lisbon, and Villarreal, and you want to go at Spurs? At least they did. At least they did their job. No, it's not nice for us to see, but at least we look at it and go, yeah, that's nice. We won that. Like you haven't won any of them. How have you not done that?
Spurs have more European heritage than them, bro.
Yeah,
some would even
and
say,
like by a considerable gap.
Yep, 100%.
Some will even say Ange is more successful than Arteta is, because I'll take a Europa League over the FA Cup every single day of the week. It's a European trophy. It's heritage.
Oh, no, Europa League is definitely bigger than the FA Cup, man. I'll be real. Yeah. It's better than it, man. The smallest trophy is the biggest for us because we won it. Because we can win it all again. So I'm not going to take it lightly at all. When you're deep in, the smallest is the biggest. Exactly, bro. You got to start from somewhere, man. But in a bit, people, man. Love.